doesn't have excellent customer service or an all-in-one solution or some AI-enabled widget? Yada, yada, yada. We've all been told for quite some time now that we need to focus on the benefits of our offering and not just the features. So that's when we started talking about business growth or time and cost-saving efficiencies, blah, 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 blah. How's that working out for you? I mean, I don't really need to pull out some ugly sales statistics attainment stats, do I? No, I didn't think so. Because nearly all of the sellers and managers that I'm coaching right now are dealing with some version of trying to differentiate in a highly competitive market right now. And survey data supports this, with some reporting that up to 88% of companies saying that their competition offers similar capabilities. There really isn't much new under the sun, is there? So how do we stand out in a sea of sameness? To find out what messaging truly works best, I turned to the B2B Decision Labs, who tested 400 B2B buyers on 4 different types of messaging. Now, the first thing that they tested is what we know as a featured-based messaging framework. This is where you list all of the capabilities that could possibly solve your buyer's challenge or problem. It'd sound something like, when you work with Unbound Growth and use our sales hiring services, you'll access our sales-specific database of over 2 million sales professionals evaluated. We also provide a fast and efficient onboarding process designed specifically for new hires, powered by our sales-specific behavioral program. Not only that, Unbound Growth has training and coaching programs used by hundreds of sellers and managers. We have all of the services that any sales leader would want or need from a sales training company. Now, second, there is a benefits messaging which describes the benefits of each capability so buyers can understand which feature can do what for them. This might go something like this. When you work with Unbound Growth and use our sales hiring services, you can fill your empty sales team's seats while ensuring that you have the best fit candidates. Thanks to the largest sales-specific database in the world, you will save time and resources hiring the best candidates. Once they're hired, you'll be able to onboard and ramp them in weeks, not months. Plus, Unbound Growth's science-based training and coaching programs means that you can scale your teams faster and better. Now, the third type of messaging is called superlatives. This is where you use terms like all-in-one, streamlined, or integrated. I call this corporate speak. Blah, 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 yada, yada, yada. It'll go something like this. When you work with Unbound Growth, you will get a one-stop shop for all of your sales recruiting, onboarding, and training needs. We have an integrated and streamlined training program based on sales-specific behaviors tied to a database that allows us to have the highest quality sellers and managers. With Unbound Growth's streamlined onboarding and ongoing training program, you'll be able to bring sellers up to speed instantly. And with comprehensive on-demand training programs, you can scale your business with us. Now, the last type of messaging is called telling details. This is very specific to the business problem, how the capability solves it, and then the value of that. Because it's so detailed, it is a little bit longer, but it might sound like this. When you work with Unbound Growth, you can fill your empty seats on your sales team without compromising quality and fit. With over 2 million database of sellers evaluated specifically for sales, you can recruit the best fit sellers and reduce the elimination attrition rates on your sales teams. Unbound Growth trainers and coaches will walk you through each step of the hiring process to establish your specific qualifications and preferences, even when the job market is tough. That means that you can quickly apply your role criteria to qualified and interested sellers and sales leaders who are the best qualified fits according to the data of over 2 million sales professionals. Once hired, you'll onboard your sellers in weeks instead of months because our trainers are going to lead your team through a repeatable and scalable onboarding process. This reduces your risk of attrition as every hire recommended but doesn't work out will be replaced for you at no charge. And our unmatched 91% success rate for new hires means that you can more predictably scale your team from 5 to 50 and increase your revenue from 10 to 100 million. Now, can you guess which type of messaging beat out all of the others as preferred, credible, convincing, and most likely to be bought from? Yeah, if you guessed the telling details, then you are right, and by a lot, across all of the variables. Here's why. First, It was buyer first focused and used language like "you can" and "that means" to frame the capabilities. That makes it all about the buyer and not your features and benefits. Second, it was specific and quantifiable, which helps to make the capability even more credible. And finally, because this messaging was both buyer focused, specific, and quantifiable, 91% of buyers that were tested said that this was more valuable to them. The devil is in the details. This is what it takes to make the vision of success more believable because it's specific. And yeah, I know that means it's going to take a little more time, but it also means that you're going to have very good active listening skills and very good clarifying questions that you need to ask. Because without that, how could you possibly know what details are going to matter? And for the sake of all that's good, please don't just add more words into it for the heck of it to make a point or to be more descriptive. You have to have a point that's going to matter to your buyers. If the additional information you're giving them doesn't add clarity and it isn't consistent, then you're, superlatively wee-weeing all over the place. Specifics are memorable because they mobilize our brain, according to Dr. Carmen Simon, who is the cognitive neuroscientist at B2B Decision Labs. When you carefully choose telling details, you're attracting more attention to ignite people's senses, which leads to stronger and more precise memories. Think about your favorite memories for a minute. You can likely recall a smell or an image or a sound. And the more details that you remember, the more real that memory is to you, right? Now, think about what happens when you share that memory with others who were there and how they add their details to it. This is the opportunity that you have to create connections between you and your buyers. It's just yet another way that you sell with your buyers, not at them. Selling's hard today. It's harder than it ever was, even a few years ago, and it's only going to get more difficult in our digital world. That is, unless you leverage the decision science of how we make our buying decisions today and the behavioral science behind how we shift our mindsets and adopt new behaviors. That means you can make your decisions based on data and science, not guesswork and assumptions. Now, what questions are coming to mind for you when you think about the results of this research? How will you apply it to your day-to-day messaging? Please drop me a comment below and share this video with your team and your colleagues. Plus, join me for the next Buyer First Ask Me Anything. We're going to be streaming to YouTube and LinkedIn and our Facebook page. So send in your questions ahead of time so that we can be sure that we get to that question or whatever challenge it is that you're having. So until next time, keep learning and keep sharing out there. Bye, y'all.